As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. That is, Mr. Can you mute your mic? There is an echo. Mr. Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatic Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organize this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies towards self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is the 88th edition of the webinar series, 20th August 2022. This webinar is being held on every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency the Secretary General ARDO, His Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty from Indian Telecom Services of Government of India. He will address today on very important topic, strategy for total development of local areas. We call it as TODOLA, TODOLA or DODOLA with ICT. I hope that he will also give the meaning of his acronym in his address. I wish to inform the participants and the speakers that the university regularly conducts two webinar series, National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in Agriculture, on every Thursday, and International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technologies for Self-Reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on every Saturday. Under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, have organized 87 lectures on very different topics of the day, important of the day. Open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure. A roadmap for students using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Open source software in industrial IoT for SMEs. Free and open source adoption, open source software adoption, business models. Open data platform for smart digital government. Technology imperative, make in India for self-reliance. Edge artificial intelligence. Data governance for self-reliant India. Digital Internet transforming governance and society. India's email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages. Ecosystem architecture for digital transformation. Education system cyber critical infrastructure. Seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digital world for self-reliant economy. Ensuring food safety and compliance through technology. Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India. Technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investments. Entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways. Rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance. Era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, India in Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis, and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare. Current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health system and beyond, leveraging emerging technologies for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chain, unleash the power of citizen development for enterprise software development, e-governance models towards sustained quality services to citizens backed by technology. Indian MSMEs to adopt to Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program. Building public digital platform using microservices and APIs, health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning, health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics, health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency, gravity filter, simple low cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India, open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation, open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation, digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities, national digital twin program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure, industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed CollabCAD software from National Informatics Center, mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade, cybersecurity risk, challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk, new internet IPv6 root server toward Atmanirbhar connected Bharat, Indian startups, reflections and possible policy intervention needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat, blockchain and crypto for digital assets platform, pathways for global trade, robot as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges, space startups connecting to international markets with emerging business models, enabling technologies for future vision, Vivekananda secondary education and skill development mega projects, its potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and the rural economy in India, Sports Grill, the digital sports media platform, and prospects of Indian sports industry sustainability model at global level, Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing, path to a digital transformation, accelerate and scale non-linear growth through partner ecosystems, technological renaissance, the and human capital, a perspective, health informatics network value chain, medical outreach challenges and potential. Beyond COVID-19, revitalizing micro and small enterprises, project management essentials, launchpad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post-COVID-19. So, smart village oblique community, African ICT oblique IoT lesson. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower for self-reliance. Pragmatic ways for Atmanirbhar Bharat, democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst, transforming India through relevant education and vocational training, digital technology in simplifying citizen life, online learning during the pandemic and its future, smart microeconomic zones, pathway for self-reliance at village level, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Village, crime prediction support system, knowledge management for development partnership to achieve these sustainable development goals of UN and implementing the Agenda 2030, millet value chain, from IoT to blockchain, a traceability roadmap, aspirational district program in left-wing extremism affected district, a successful model of data-driven governance, digital agriculture supply chain and trading hub, a geo-economic perspective, market-driven agriculture, need for development of crop-specific strategic at block level, an open agri network to unlock the $1 trillion plus potential of Indian agriculture with the smallholder farmer, developing rural entrepreneurship to ensure doubling of farmers' income, leveraging the power of convergence through connecting the dots, agri startups, agripreneurs, and rural innovators, agronomy plus artificial intelligence equal to precision farming, doubling farmers' income, imperative of plant health informatics network, developing commercial breadfruit value chain to help farmers reach high value markets, commodity value chain creation through agri network and agri AI, farm to plate, a one-stop agri-tech platform to simplify supply chain and e-commerce needs of food and perishable commodities, health informatics network value chain, national animal disease reporting system 2012 and beyond, AI and metaverse, frontiers in workspace, coconut value chain challenges transforming into potential. Coffee informatics value chain facilitating smallholder coffee farmers into business. Health informatics network value chain building of one health ecosystem, role of digital architecture. Diversification of fish and fisheries resource management and its challenges in Bangladesh. Data mining on digital agriculture. Drone technology ecosystem empowering smallholder farmers in India. Fisheries informatics network value chain. Business plan for fisheries cooperatives to attract investors, making urbanization work for the poor through new technologies, disruptive technologies in precision agriculture. Today is the 88th edition of this very important webinar series. We'll have the talk by engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty, Indian Telecom Services, Director Technology, Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communication, Government of India, on very important topic, strategy for total development of local areas, TODOLA, with ICT. Dear participants, please see the keywords: strategy, development, local areas, and ICT, information and communication technology. Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. It is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of making India a self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation. Based on 5 pillars: quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, systems 21st century technology driven, vibrant demography, and demand whereby the strength of our demand and the supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. And we have Digital India program. The Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. This has been the major driving force for the budding entrepreneurs and a key contributor for the phenomenal growth of the Indian IT sector. To empower the society and build the knowledge economy, need for digital transformation was felt. Digital India initiative has the right push at the right time when the technology is advancing faster than ever. On February 20, 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunications Technology published a report titled India's $1 trillion digital opportunity. In collaboration with McKinsey and Company, this report identified about 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 key areas: digital world, the rise of platform economy, and digital platform economies emerging, and digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. There are 10 emerging technologies are making impact: artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing. In India, we have 3 framework ecosystems which we would like to operationalize it: agriculture 4.0, industry 4.0, and society 5.0. Society 5.0 has been pronounced by Japan. Industry 4.0 came from German, and India has to give to the whole world agriculture 4.0. And we have various central schemes: Digital India 2015, Make in India 2015, Skill India 2015, Startup India 2015, and Stand Up India 2015, Atmanirbhar Bharat 2020, and Mission 2022. Akbar and Amrit Kaul led up to 100. That is Amrit Kaul at India 2047. And it has got the basic vision complementing the macroeconomic level growth, macroeconomic level growth focused with a microeconomic level, all inclusive welfare focused economic growth, macroeconomic growth with micro level, all focus, welfare focus, promoting digital economy and fintech, technology enabled development, energy transition, and climate action, and relying on virtual cycle starting from private investment with public capital investment to crowd in private investment. And the government of India has also come out with a blueprint for Amrit Kaul, and and this will be futuristic and inclusive. This will directly benefit our youth, women, farmers, the scheduled caste, and the scheduled tribes, and a big public investment for modern infrastructure reading India at 100, that is at 2047. And it has got four priorities: Prime Minister's Kadi Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action, and finally, financing of investment. And I would like to quote Prime Minister's historic Independence Day speech on 15th August 2022, on 76th Independence Day. He named 5 pillars for India's development, 5 pledges for 2014, Panch Prana, Panch Pran, Panch Pran of Amrit Kaul. First Pran, goal of developed India. Second Pran, remove any trace of colonial mindset. Third Pran, take pride in our roots. Fourth Pran, unity. Fifth Pran, sense of duty among the citizens. And the 5 pledges for 2047, 5 pillars for India's development, having developed India, that is Vikshit Bharat, having 5 prans, Panch Pran, urging the citizen to focus on the Panch Pran to make India a developed nation in 25 years. Today's India is an aspirational society where there is a collective awakening to take our nation to newer heights. India is mother of democracy and diversity is its strength. We salute the architects of free India who significantly contributed to India's freedom. Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and the Agenda 2030 gives us promises as the future we want through the operationalization of or achieving 17 Sustainable Development Goals and its associated 169 targets. Disruptive technologies in precision agriculture, we are seeing it. India is a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhai said India is largely an agrarian country, having more than 6.25 lakhs villages. India has got about 14.5 crores operational holders, after which 85% are small and marginal farmers, having land size holding of less than 2 hectares. They have multidimensional problems. 6.25 lakhs villages, this is called local area, and 2.25 lakh gram panchayat, that's also can be considered as a local area. And farmers are facing multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, and lack of infrastructure and weather. And they need timely, location specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. And then in the seventh Governing Council meeting of Niti Aayog, held on 7th August 2022 in New Delhi, our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi said in his opening address, he stressed the need to focus on modernized agriculture, animal husbandry, and food processing to become self-sufficient and global leader in the agriculture. In his closing remark of the 7th Governing Council meeting of Niti Aayog, he said each state should focus on promoting trade, tourism, and technology via every Indian mission around the world. The states must focus on reducing imports, increasing exports, and identifying opportunities thereof. This is very important message. And as per the State Bank of India's special report on agriculture, July 2022, it says, I would like to quote, India could have 20 to 30 million tenant farmers, and nobody bothers about them. And Kisan credit card scheme should be tweaked to make it as a livelihood credit card. This is also very important when we look for total development of local areas. We also have the recommendations from the popularly known as Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report on doubling farmers' income by 2022, report 2018. I was closely associated with this report for volume 11 and volume 12B as its group leader. Volume 12B talks on digitalization of Indian agriculture system through 7 mission mode program. That is having suggested that strategic use of digital technology in farming systems life cycle through 7 mission mode programs, which were explained in chapter 10 of volume 12B of this report. This is very important. And these 7 mission mode programs, let me read it out. Digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, synergization of Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, and Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture sector through smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. Digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities. Digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. Digitalized integrated land and water management system, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. This itself is very important. This is $1 trillion data economy. Synergization of human health data, plant health data, animal health data, soil health data, water health data, fish health data, and environmental data using a GIS platform on a village, on a small area is very important. We cannot go for lockdown due to any situations hereafter. And today's topic is strategy for total development of local areas with ICT. We got so many local area development programs which has been launched. Previously it has been talked by economists and planners and geographers. Now these are schemes from 1993 onwards, it take a national level shape. It's called Members of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme, MP-LAD, which was formulated by Government of India on 23rd December 1993 by the then P.V. Narasimha Rao government, and under which each member of parliament are getting now, it started with 2 crores, now it is 5 crores per annum to be taken up in their constituency. Total number of MPs are 788, Lok Sabha 543, and Rajya Sabha 245. And state governments are also have launched Members of Legislative Assembly Area Development Scheme, MLA-LADS. This has been launched in December 1994-95. And this also, depending upon different states, the MLA-LAD program has gotten MLA fund from rupees 1 crore to 10 crores. Delhi government, NCT Delhi, allocates 10 crores per MLA constituency. And starting from 1 crore to 5 crores to 10 crores. And then the Gram Panchayat Development Plan, Sabki Yojana, Sabka Vikas, launched by Ministry of Panchayat Raj. There are about 248,160 Gram Panchayat. We can say in short 2.5 lakh Gram Panchayat. and 6,284 block panchayat, 595 district panchayat in our country. To attain the dream of Mahatma Gandhi ji, the central government has initiated Gram Panchayat Vikas Yojana in every village panchayat. After achieving desired success in this campaign and implementing Gram Panchayat Development Plan in a systematic way, the village panchayat can truly become a microcosm of development. Under the 14th Finance Commission, 292 crores was approved to be made available directly to Gram Panchayat alone. It means that around 16 lakhs per annum for every Gram Panchayat is being allocated. And in addition to that, there is an aspirational district program announced by the Honorable Prime Minister in January 2018. The Aspirational District Program aims to quickly and effectively transform 117 most underdeveloped districts across the country. Broad contours of the programs are convergence of central and state schemes, collaboration, central state level Prabari officers and district collectors, and competition among districts through monthly Delta ranking, all driven by a mass movement, is very important. And then the National Digital Communication Policy 2018 has given a very important strategic approach. BharatNet providing 1 Gbps to Gram Panchayat, upgradable up to 10 Gbps. GramNet connecting all key rural development institutions with the 10 Mbps, upgradable to 100 Mbps. NagarNet establishing 1 million portable Wi-Fi hotspot in urban area. Jan Wi-Fi establishing a million Wi-Fi hotspot in rural area. The Mission 2022 is Connect India, creating robust digital communication infrastructure. Propel India, enabling next generation technologies and services through investment, innovation, and IPR generation. Secure India, ensuring sovereignty, safety, and security of digital communication. Strategic objectives are provisioning of broadband for all, creating 4 million additional jobs in the digital communication sector, enhancing the contribution of the digital communication sector to 8% of India's GDP plan from 6% in 2017, propelling India to top 50 nations in ICT development index of ITU from 134 in 2017, and enhancing India's contribution to global value chain, ensuring digital sovereignty, very important strategic objectives. And information communication technologies has been recognized as an essential tool for achieving the new sustainable development goals set up by the United Nations for the welfare of mankind. Digital development is a key in achieving all 17 sustainable development goals of India. And I would like to quote, in this international webinar series, we had relevant talk by various experts. Mr. Atul Patnakar, Director Sanmoksha, talked about smart microeconomic zone, pathway for self-reliance at village level on February 12th, 2022, empowering lives catalyzing development. And then on 8th January 2022, Dr. Harish Hande, Raman Magsaysay Award winner 2011, talked about democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. With respect to today's topic, I wish to quote that I have been closely associated and was instrumental for ICT for district administration under the program called the District Information System of NIC District Program way back in 1987, under which blueprint was made available for 28 sectoral database and village level database development in 520 districts way back in 1987-91. And then in 95, a blueprint for ICT for agriculture was laid through a national conference on informatics for sustainable development. I was instrumental in organizing at Vigyan Bhavan, and that gave the blueprint from 1995 to 2013 in India. District Program 1987 has been the front runner of the present day e-governance program of India, was instrumental in visualizing the development scheme under the 11th plan, that is 2007 to 11th plan 2007 to 12 of National Informatics Center. The programs are Smart Village, Smart Island, and GRID, Grassroots Informatics Development Programs. And also was the ICT chairman of subgroup on IT and ICT usage in agriculture data at agroclimatic level. Agroclimatic level. India has got about 127 agroclimatic zones. And in small area farm business, how IT and ICT usage can be used on agriculture data. ICT for micro level planning at village level, as approved by the then Planning Commission 2002 to 2007, is the need of our digital village to smart village, digitally connected and enabled for long-term sustainable development village. And it is very important. And in 2014, Government of India launched Digital India program with 9 pillars: broadband highways, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access programs, e-governance, e-granti, and information for all, and electronic manufacturing, jobs in IT sector, and early harvesting program. And last mile connectivity is very important for everybody to be the part of the globalized world, digitalized India. And another very important program for small area development is Sansat Adarsh Gram Yojana. It was launched during 2014 by the Ministry of Rural Development, envisaged integrated development of a village across multiple areas such as agriculture, health, education, sanitation, environment, and livelihoods, etc. And it also given lot of areas to be looked into it, and also to nurture identified Adas Grams as schools of local development. These villages, model villages, as schools of local development to train other Gram Panchayat. But the achievement is not is not exemplary. And in this program, in the Sajid, that is the Sansat Adarsh Gram Yojana, it talks about use of technologies innovation. Adoption and adaptation of technologies, introduction of innovation is a must. Broad categories of technology to be adopted and adapted. Space application and remote sensing, mobile-based technologies, agriculture-related technologies, innovation to be sourced from local Krishi Vigyan Kendras and district Atmas. Livelihood-related technologies and innovation to be drawn from National Innovation Foundation. Bank of Ideas and Innovations of Ministry of Rural, MIRD, Ministry of Rural Development through state rural livelihood missions. Appropriate building construction technologies, road construction technologies, water supply and sanitation. And then from ICAR, they have come out with the climate smart village guidelines. With this background, let us turn to the address of our guest speaker, Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty, ITS, Director Technology Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communication, Government of India, to talk on strategy for total development of local areas, TODOLA, with ICT. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India, or youtube.com/Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit University. Let us unlock the opportunities in India at the earliest. And let me introduce the guest speaker to the audience, Mr. Manish. Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty belongs to Indian Telecommunications Service, cadre of Government of India, and is serving as Director Technology in Department of Telecom. Previous to this, He was Director Skill Development and Entrepreneurship in the Ministry of Communication, Government of India. He has conceptualized Standard Operating System for Indian Languages, SOIL, Standard Operating System for Indian Languages, and passionately pursuing vision of high-tech skill development in Indian languages, involving various stakeholders from different sectors. Earlier, engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty worked as Director International Cooperation in the Department of Telecommunication, Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, Government of India, a government nominee director in the board of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, IDEA Team Center, IDEA Telecom Center of Excellence, and joint advisor, Information Technology and Technology Development in Telecom Regulatory Authority of India from 2010 to 2013. While working as in charge of BSNL Kolkata Nodal Center during 2001, he was instrumental in successful rollout of first mobile services of BSNL in East Zone, and he was a validation team member of the mobile system. He served as Deputy General Manager Mobile in both East Zone headquarters Calcutta and also in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. His initiatives on ICT for the benefits of common man during 2009 to 2010 were acknowledged by International Telecommunication Union, ITU, and conducted TEDx seminar in Bhubaneswar in the year 2010. As an honorary secretary of IETE in Odisha, Engineer Prusty was instrumental in conducting seminars and conferences on e-education, ICT for the benefit of common man, and online child protection, and promoted development of contents and applications in the Indian languages as one of the important parameters for development of ICT systems. His advocacy on well-being of all with ICT in different forums was well received. He is also a social blogger and promotes the cause of Indian languages and domestic ICT industry in various social media. Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty is a poet in Odia language and writes patriotic poems. He is an excellent orator, delivered talks in various national and international seminars and conferences. From LinkedIn profile, according to Mr. K.D. Vizo, former Principal Secretary, IT and Power, Government of Nagaland, he tells about Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty as follows. Mr. Subrat Kumar Prusty is a man of vision who always tries to improve the environment around him. He is highly learned man and he can inspire and make changes to happen. Good morning, good afternoon to Mr. Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty. We welcome you to the International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technology for Self-Reliant India to talk on strategy for total development of local areas with ICT. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Namaskar. Today my topic is Total Development of Local Area Model, TODOLA. What is this TODOLA? Why TODOLA? When there is already a designation called Block Development Officer. Why you are giving a peculiar abbreviation called TODOLA?
Can you go to the first slide first? Just one. Yeah, please.
So, I think we have a very good designation called BDO, Block Development Officer. When there is already a designation called Block Development Officer, why you are giving a peculiar abbreviation called TODOLA? Because the concept called block development has two meanings. One may be small blocks to develop the blocks, and another is to block the development, block as a form. So when somebody says block development officer, he already thinks how to block the development, but our objective is how to unblock the development, not block the development. And what we want? We want not only development in one sector, we want development in all other sectors. What Dr. Moni sir has told, he has categorically told many sectors. But if we think about each local area as a cell of the body, then we have to think everything about this local area. That's why we call total development. Total development of local area. How to measure this total development of local area? What are the possible knowledge and skill for a total development local area? How the students know about the local history and the local geography? Whether they know that there is a gold mine nearer to their local area? What is the thinking guideline for this TODOLA? Do you know? Thinking is a hard work. Understanding the past and present, predict the future, think small, think. External influence on local area, think local area as a small startup, think local area as a small company, think local area as a small cell of the body, but think total, think strengthening the root. What are the different types of thinking pattern? Thinking is like fire, it can burn you. Thinking can make you divine, different directions of the thinking. Why I'm saying thinking is like a fire? Because there are a lot of thinkers are thinking. There are a lot of strategies that has been developed for TODOLA or for total development. But in the meantime, what happened? The development has percolated to some places, development has not percolated to other places. Because we have considered a very big place as our local area. But let us consider local area as a small area. People have the natural aspirations to be peaceful and a happy and a blissful life. This can happen if we make more people rooted and give them options through education and examination to strengthen the local ecosystem in a divine collaborative mode. Computation is good, but collaboration is much better. New education policy has given the emphasis on skill and knowledge development in Indian languages. It can be more successful if we have a suitable higher education policy supporting the new education policy from ground up. So I will be considering some of the parts. For example, I will be telling out TODOLA policies, TODOLA zone, TODOLA examination, TODOLA education, TODOLA algorithms, TODOLA family, TODOLA standards, and visualization with and without TODOLA. Why I am calling it TODOLA zone? TODOLA zone is a comfort zone. There are two types of zone. One is comfort zone, one is conflict zone. In a conflict zone, you have too much computation. In a comfort zone, you have too much collaboration. In a collaborative zone, you can have much more development than in a competition zone. Because in a competition, there are some philosophy. In collaboration, there are some further philosophy. For example, in my body, there are two hands, but these two hands don't compete with each other. They collaborate with each other. I have 10 fingers. They don't compete with each other. They collaborate with each other. Similarly, TODOLA examination. What happens in a TODOLA examination? How much talent we need in a village for a development? How much talent? How much the mathematics 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? How that test has to be done for a student so that he can add, he can multiply, he can discover the minerals nearby and do the development locally instead of thinking and doing everything for London or for Europe or for America. So the choice is whether we have a choice for total development of local area or we have a choice to block development. That is our choice. We have to choose total development of local area and not to block development of local area. That is maybe given by some very great thinker, block development officer, but this might be a colonial word. Block development of local areas, block development of villages, block development of the gram panchayats. This is the word that is the blocking. That is a verb. That is not a noun. That is a verb. To block the development. So to block development officer, we have to come with a new designation called total development officer. And total development officer of local area. That means TODOLA. For example, we have been discussing about lot of all this digital connectivity. We have come to know about how the digital connectivity can help each other. But do we know what has happened to our local areas? When the industrial revolution has started, the people have migrated from villages to small towns. Then they have migrated to big cities. what has happened? The small cities and big towns become more and more developed, whereas the small villages, they become slightly undeveloped. So after this digital connectivity, we want to reverse this trend. How can we reverse this trend? What are the observations? There are joint family living in ancestral village like ice. But what has happened? When industrial revolution takes place, all the people go to the industrial sites. They make very big industries, and all the people who are sitting in the villages or staying in the villages, they migrated to cities. So they become small nuclear family, flowing like water, city life. Then it becomes a gaseous structure. For example, on-site office to USA. But now with broadband connectivity, with digital connectivity, we can work from anywhere, anytime, any place. So that type of concept has to now trickle down at the policy level, at the macro policy level. If we think that is the work from anywhere is a macro policy level statement, then we can think of the ancestral villages, we can think of the joint family systems, or else what will happen? We will have a lot of technology, but this technology will not have development uniformly. It will not have development or total development of local areas at many places. It will make many places undeveloped. The people will travel from villages to the slums of the cities, and the slums they will have temporary houses. So that temporary houses will be demolished. They will have houses nearer to the slum zone, nearer to the wastage drunkard. So what will happen? All these things will not actually develop. This will actually go in the direction of destruction. So for total development of local area, we have to use the technology in such a way that each and every cell of the body, in each and every local area of the body has to be developed, and the people have more and more joint family. People and more people, they will give their old age father and mother, they will give a lot of care in a joint family. So all these things, let us talk about one by one. What is without TODOLA model and what is with TODOLA model? For example, without TODOLA model, we have forced migration making people homeless in an alien land. But in TODOLA model, planning the system so that there is a less forced migration. Number two, voluntary migration is not encouraged due to constraints without TODOLA model. In which TODOLA model, there will be voluntary migration is encouraged for trade and commerce. It is not a migration, permanent migration. It is a migration so that they are rooted in the villages. They are rooted in their local areas. They develop their local areas with voluntary migration. This is not a forced migration. Similarly, houses are small, accommodating hardly present generation. For example, in big cities, they have 2-bedroom flats or 1-bedroom flats. Can they accommodate their old age parents in those houses? No. So in the TODOLA model, we have to think about how the houses to be built. Building houses so that the 4 generations family members can stay with the extended joint family. Without TODOLA model, we encourage the nuclear family. With TODOLA model, we encourage the extended joint family. Encouraging workforce far away from home, forcing long-time journey, burning oil, polluting air and noise pollution. What happens if we have digital connectivity? If we have broadband, can anyone encourage the workplace nearer to the farm, or work from home, or work from anywhere, or a 5-minute walk, or a cycling walk, or cycling from home? So gradually they will have a more comfortable life, more blissful life in their local areas. Similarly, promoting more physical movement of people constantly on move, making roads congested, spending more time on the road than in the workplace. But with TODOLA model, promoting more online work, travel for essential works only, which can't be done online. People travel for pleasure, for tourism, spending more time in workplace and family than on the road. So roads less congested. Without TODOLA model, there is only focus on big cities and more development cities, making them crowded. People moving away from the villages. But with TODOLA model, the focus is on each local area, promoting people to live in their ancestral houses, making works and developing their ancestral villages, ancestral houses. Without TODOLA and with TODOLA. When I was a child, I was writing an essay on a farmer. So how I was writing an essay on a farmer? The first sentence is farmer is very poor. He has no money to have 2 meals a day. He lives in a thatched house. Poor farmers need to migrate to cities to earn a living. This is the concept. This is the perception of a farmer in a village that is going on till today also. We have to change this perception. The farmer is now empowered by government policy and technology. Government is giving adequate support for education, health, and nearer to village he lives. So the essay of the farmer has to be now rewritten so that people will get motivated to be a farmer. It is not that everybody should migrate and become homeless or in an alien land, living in a slum. Similarly, the comfort zone versus conflict zone. Without TODOLA, making every local area as a conflict zone, there are a lot of competition. So everyone is fighting with everybody. Intense competition generating conflicts in each and every activity. But with TODOLA, making every local area a comfort zone, limited competition, keeping comfort level of each individual in mind. Family. What is without TODOLA? What is the family? Disintegration of family system. Many people don't have family. Always moving, looks more like chaos. Disturbing profession-based family system. With TODOLA, let us think about how can you have a more stable, how can you have an extended joint family. There are stories, taking people away from local stories, local achievements, local heroes in the name of global. We can write stories that can promote this total development local area so that the people will think that local area can also be developed like the biggest cities, or like the biggest city, the advantage that we have in the biggest city, we can also have the same advantage in our local areas. So without TODOLA, our objective to transfer. With TODOLA, our objective is to transform. If there is a poor performance, transfer. If there is negligence in work, transfer. Transferring the government officer is a strategy without the vision of total development. The department to which the poor performance is transferred may also suffer. But with TODOLA, if there is a poor performance, transform for better performance on the same domain, on the same place. Let the staff realize and understand from the mistakes committed. Let there be sufficient training and skill development to transform from poor performance to better performance. But what is happening now in IS cadre? In IS cadre, there is frequent transfer. And all these transfers are actually not conducive to total development of local areas. If the officer stays more than 5 years in one place or one department, transfer. Transfer is seen as a strategy to showcase unity. However, the forced transfers seldom brings unity. It creates a conflict zone for the transferred employee. It takes time to settle down in the new place. It disturbs the family, education of the family members. Transforming permanently from one place to another is not required if there is transformation in the structure and processes. With connectivity and working from anywhere, the employee can contribute from the same place. For any type of work, the officer may go for training to outside for a short period, maybe less than 1 month. Don't dislocate the officer. The entire family, the elderly parents, all are dependent on the employee. Give them the choice. Give them the choice of TODOLA. There can be voluntary migration, but please avoid forced migration as a policy measure. Please transform the transfer policy to transform policy. So these are some of the conceptualized summary without TODOLA and with TODOLA. Policies and laws. Without TODOLA, foreign colonial masters have made laws to block local development so that they remain poor, uprooted, undeveloped, and laws are only in English language. With TODOLA, make the wordings of the law simple and in Indian languages so that the common Indians can understand without any ambiguity. Every Indian has the right to grow, be rich, and prosperous. This is the philosophy and policy and laws of the TODOLA. Workplace. Far away from home, forcing a long time journey or a forced migration. With TODOLA, just a 5-minute work from home or work from home. forest trees. Without TODOLA, what happens? They say don't touch trees. Trees are only kept in the forest. Why? Why the trees cannot be planted in everywhere? Why the public places the trees cannot be planted? Why in the roadside mango trees cannot be planted? We can plant the mango trees on the roadside and mangoes can come. So plant 100 trees to cut one big tree. With TODOLA, let us have a sustainable thinking. Let us live with trees. It is not that there will be no trees in the cities and all trees will be in forest, and the forests are totally not approachable. Nobody can go to the forest. Similarly, ancient heritage. What happens without TODOLA? The ancient heritage is kept as a crime spots. Don't repair the ancient heritage. Why? Because somewhere somebody invaded somebody and somebody has destroyed. This is so the local area, all the ancient heritages are in a very dilapidated condition. So that is not developing the heritage in the local area. But with TODOLA, let us repair and rejuvenate and reconstruct the heritage and cultural sites. Then only we can have total development of local area. Similarly, the technology. What happens? We use the foreign technology and pay huge royalty for the usages. What happens? Though you use a lot of technology for our development, so 10 times of that development is taken away by the origin of the technology. So the country which has originated the technology becomes 10 times more beneficial than we are. Can we not substitute the foreign technology with local indigenous technology? So in the TODOLA, our objective is not only India. We want to develop the technology in the local area itself. We want to develop the local area so that the geography, so that the history can be developed at the local areas. So let us compare one examination that is called civil service examination. To put in place a reformed system of recruitment, training and performance evaluation of the civil service to ensure more effective and efficient delivery of public services. Let me tell you what happens in our civil service. Civil service, the local young students fresh from the college will be selected through a nationally synchronized and local studies component on the same day, same time across the nation. What happens at present the civil service? For example, in IS, there are selected general 90 category, OBC 29, SC 27, ST 24, 1000 selected in common service, civil service examination, 3000 appeared in civil service examination interview, 15,000 appeared in CSC mains, 5 lakh appeared for CSC prelims, 11 lakhs applying for IAS, 543 MP constituencies in India, 4,123 MLA constituencies in India, 6,35,365 villages, 742 districts. So the competition is among the students so that it becomes a lottery. The competition should be among the students in the local area comparatively, not among the thousands of students, not among the millions of students. When we are doing competition among the millions of students, it becomes more of a lottery. The competition will be among the students of the local area with strong affiliation and knowledge on the local geography and history. Competition will be local Indian languages so that the selected TODOLA officer can understand the local aspirations in a better manner. In the competition, there will be no reservation since the local area will have same facilities and opportunities available for all. The selected 5 TODOLA officers to serve their local areas for 5 years, after which there can be training and evaluation of the local officers to go to the state level, depending on the performance in each local area. Here, the transformation for development will be the motto, instead of transfer from one geography to another. So, I was actually discussing about the civil service examination. Civil service examination and TODOLA selection examination. I just want to define, if we have a TODOLA, we have a TODOLA education, we have a TODOLA selection examination. Civil service examination conducted across the nation, same day, same time. TODOLA selection examination should also be conducted across the nation, same day, same time. But civil service examination is competition among millions to decide the winner. But in the TODOLA selection examination, it should be among the local area to select the winners, maybe among thousands. Civil service examination, same question for all the in history, geography and economy. TODOLA selection examination, each local area will have different questions focusing on local history, local geography and local economy. In the civil service examination, no time to go in depth and understand the local ecosystem. In the TODOLA selection examination, we have to understand the local ecosystem and the local aspirations and go in depth. Multiple reservations in civil service examination. No reservations. 25 domain questions in one examination. 4 separate domain and 4 types of questions in TODOLA selection examination. Top hierarchy from beginning to work in the local area for 5 years, after which there can be another exam. What I want to tell is that if we don't have a conceptual mind that how the local area can be developed by the officers who are posted in the local areas, how can they develop? Because they know they will go to capital city after 2 years. They will live in the capital city after 4 years. So they just time pass. This is a time pass. This is for 2 years we just have to see the village and let the village go to hell. Let the village be block development maybe there. Let the development be blocks in villages. So that is the reason the villages don't get the focus. The local areas don't get the focus as desired by the system. For example, let us say the housing policy. What happens in housing policy? Accommodation without TODOLA and accommodation with TODOLA. Housing policy, for example, forced migration making people homeless in an island. So what they do? They settle their house in a slum area, in a temporary accommodation. That land does not belong to them. So what happens? Though there are a lot of development in the slums, the temporary accommodation all of a sudden it has been demolished but for a certain developmental work. So what happens? Whatever development that has taken place in that slum area has gone all of a sudden by the system. So in the accommodation with the TODOLA, the planning the system so that there is no forced migration. I am again forcing that. There are development happening. Houses are built in villages, but house owners are migrating to cities, leaving the houses to live in slums in the cities. For example, without TODOLA, what happens? The person may have a very good house in the villages, but what is happening? That house is locked. Where he is staying? He is staying in a slum area. He is staying in a slum area in an alien land. That is accommodation without TODOLA. Accommodation with TODOLA, building house so that the 4 generations can stay there for next 5 generations. Similarly, accommodation without TODOLA. On the other side, temporary houses on the government land for poor are being built inside the slums with subsidy to demolish after a certain period and to be rebuilt again. We have to take the job to the people. The people need to work from home or work nearer to home using ICT with the total development local area as the vision. Then only we can touch the local area. And next is the conflict zone and comfort zone. What is a conflict zone? What is a comfort zone? Each of the individual living in a country, they must be experiencing whether I am living in a conflict zone or I am living in a comfort zone. Conflict zone, to adjust with life in a conflict zone, being uprooted from comfort zone, unbalanced, disturbed. Enemy wants to convert the comfort zone into a conflict zone. Fight for survival, because the philosophy is that only the fittest can survive. Starting from zero again, no house, take rent, buy one or live in slum. Energy dissipated in your survival process, stress and frustration, full of anger, hatred and jealousy. In a comfort zone, sharing and collaboration is promoted. It gives stability. It is deeply rooted with strong aerial roots. System supports through policy. Survival needs taken care of the previous generation and the family. Build up the experience of the previous generation. Ancestral house can be renovated and expanded. Comfort zone minimizes fear, physical, emotional, and intellectual energy at peace. So easy of living, enemy, survival, starting point, house, energy, emotions. We are saying we are promoting easy of doing business. We are promoting easy of living. But in the macro level, we are unstable. With small easy of living, there is no easy of living. Easy of living can only happen when our old age are totally taken care of, when our children are taken care of. How can you take care of the old age? If we take the generational care. Generational care can only take place when there will be less disturbance. So if we can have a comfort zone, we can gradually go towards total development local area. But if we have a conflict zone, though we are saying we are developed, but our objective is to block development, blocking the development, not the true development. So I actually discussed some of the things that we are thinking about self-development. We are thinking about the knowledge development, workplace development, system development, community development, family development. How the different time period of our life should also be developed. How the different types of people should also be developed. How the different geography should be developed. How the different seasons should be also accommodated. We are not considering about a small development. Just get a salary and you are developed. No. Getting salary of 2 lakhs rupees will be meaningless if you are in a big city. But if we get the 2 lakh salary in a small village with your ancestral houses, with your parents, with your grandchildren and grandparents, then you can approach the total development. That's why, as you know, in Hinduism, we have 4 parts of our life: Brahmacharya, Gaharstya, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Brahmacharya, how the Brahmacharya can be developed, how the Gaharstya system can be developed, how the Vanaprastha system can be developed, how the Sannyasa system can be developed. And if we put the philosophy of Gaharstya in Brahmacharya, then there will be collapse. What is happening now? We are showing all types of movies to our children. So, though we are developing culturally, we are actually destroying our culture. So, in Brahmacharya, we have to show the movies, we have to show the system, we have to make the system so that the Brahmacharya system is fully developed. The Gaharstha system is fully developed. The Vanaprastha system is fully developed. And the Sannyasa means you are thinking about all the people, development of all the people. You are thinking of the community development. You are thinking of the system development. That is the Sannyasa. Sannyasa, you are not thinking about your own development. In your Gaharstha, you are talking about only your family development or your self-development in Gaharstha. But when you are going to Sannyasa, Sannyasa means you are thinking about the community development. So there are different types of developmental periods, and total development local area should also think about the developments of different periods of a life, different periods of the season, different periods of the, for example, in rainy season, you have to plant some trees. And if you plant those trees in the summer season, then it will be of no use. And if we make some festivals during some season which is very harsh, you may not enjoy. So what is happening? For example, our festivals are so arranged, like Purnami, Amavasya, they are so arranged in such a way that we can develop agriculture keeping up our festivals. We know when to grow the seeds, when to plant the seeds. So all these knowledges are inbuilt. All these knowledges are inbuilt in the local area. And this local area can be developed if we flourish them, if we promote them, if we do that through our policy systematically. For example, meditation, yoga, study, all these are part of the Brahmacharya. Then Gaharstya, then study of scriptures and giving input to the society maybe at the latter period of life, like in the Sannyasa or in the Vanaprastha. So there is a chaos, because what is happening? We have destroyed the joint family system. So once the joint family system destroyed, the family which supports the Gaharstya has also become destroyed. The family which system the Vanaprastha and Sannyasa also becomes destroyed. So what has happened? In the total destruction, total development of local area, we will have total chaos of local area. So When we are thinking about in a higher level, when we are thinking about a macro level, we have to think all aspects of development. Not only the development that I get a salary of per month 2 lakh rupees. That should not be our objective. For example, let us consider life and time. What do we have? We have a limited time in our life, and we have a limited life in our life. For example, let's say an IS officer or any class 1 officer, he has a limited time. Let's say he serves for 35 years. So out of the 35 years, he have 35 transfers. So 1 year in one town, 1 year in one city. What happens? He takes time to learn about the system, let's say 6 months. And after 6 months, he is again transferred. So they cannot use the time in a justified manner for the total development of local area. The total development of local area can happen if we think about everything while designing the policy. Not that our objective is not to people to just post at some post and let the foreign consultants, let the multinationals dictate all the things and we just implement that. No, we must think about the local area by ourselves. That is why we say Indian language, village. We have something called group A, B, C, D. Why group A, B, C, D? If a group D person can excel, he can also become a group A. There is no such thing called hierarchy. Because in a digital domain with ICT, everybody can be knowledgeable, everybody can contribute. Profession selection. With a new education policy, there are a lot of professions that can be selected. Which department, which city, which personal economy, which dreams, which desires. If you go to city, you are forced to study in English language. Why? Because in our ancestral village, you have one language. In your ancestral town, you have one language. But if you go to a city, you are forced to study English language because there is no other option. Your child has no other option unless they have to study English language only. So what is happening? The colonial people have thought India something like this. And we must reinvent ourselves for total development of local area. If each local area is developed, then the country as a whole, country as India or as a state will be developed. If local area is undeveloped, then who will be developing? New York will be developing. San Francisco will be developing, not Indian cities, not Indian, because all these developments percolates not to the ground below, but to the big cities. For example, let's say I am talking about 1947. What happened before 1947? What happened after 1947? What happened in Mughal and British period? Before and Mughal and British invasion? So all these historical facts, actually we read a lot of historical facts, but do you know what is the local history? How the local history has been shaped? Who are our local heroes? What is the local geography? Poets, authors in Indian languages, artists, cultures, engineers of the local area, temples built, new townships created, books written in the state, trade, commerce, business of the small grid, that is the local area, the action plans for fulfilling the visions of future at a small level, the analysis of industrial technology and development across the world at a small level, local agriculture, mining, health, education system of the country. Local geography has been impacted by history. The great rulers had built magnificent temples, made new villages, townships, constructed roads, ports, all in a constructive way. But there are natural disasters like earthquake and floods which are destroyed. Invaders have created man-made disasters like accidents need to be forgotten with repairing or rebuilding them. We have to forget those accidents as if some natural disasters happened. Instead, we should learn the history that will inspire us. Learn the history that will inspire us, the local history that will inspire us, so that we can focus on the local development, so that we can build new temples, so that we can build new industries in the local areas. Not that all the industry will come from the foreign company, all the brands will be foreign brands, and we will just, in the name of scale, we just purchase from them. We have a purchasing economy, we're a customer economy. Our local area is not prepared to face the challenge. Our local areas are small. Our local areas could not face the competition of the multinational companies. So we have to think how to empower the local areas with motivation, with local history, and let the local people know the local geography. There are gold mines nearby. There are aluminium mines. There are iron mines nearby. But the local people don't know about those things. They have never visited a mine. They have never visited industry, local industry. Their education is such that they just remember what is happening in Europe, what is happening in USA. So the education, the local history, the local geography, they should focus on total development of local area. That is our objective. I am just redefining about the conflict zone. There are two types of conflict zone. Conflict zone 1 and conflict zone 2. Similarly, we can have comfort zone 1 and comfort zone 2. Conflict zone 1, conflict zone 2. Comfort zone 1, comfort zone 2. Total development of local area can happen if we take more people from conflict zone 2 to conflict zone 1 to comfort zone 1, then comfort zone 2. In conflict zone 2, there is war like Ukraine, war with enemy, destruction of houses, there is no food, food sources are destroyed, no water, choices between life and death. This is a conflict zone 2, like Ukraine war. Ukraine war is going on, that is a conflict zone 2. Conflict zone 1, there we are living at present, fight for survival, starting from zero, no house, work hard for food and income, everybody. Everybody in a different place. They don't have house, so they have to build a new house. They don't have work, so they have to build another system, another shop. But in a comfort zone, survival needs taken care of. House, food, income are there. But in comfort zone 1, it is far away from the parents. Though it is a slightly comfort zone, it is not a complete comfort zone. It is not a conducive to total development of local area. How can you have a comfort zone 2? The survival needs are taken care of. House, food, income, all are taken care of. They live in their houses. They live with their parents. They live in their ancestral houses. This is the comfort zone 2. So we have to measure how many people are living in conflict zone 2 in our country, how many people are living in conflict zone 1 in our country, how many people are living in comfort zone 1 in our country, how many people are living in comfort zone 2 in our country. What is happening? Enemy wants to disturb your local comfort zone. It wants to convert the comfort zone into a conflict zone. It wants to uproot you. It wants to block your development. You must recognize who is your enemy. Our energy should not be dissipated in frustration, aimlessness, or discontentment. The modern management believes that the growth is slow in the comfort zone, so they force people to step out of the comfort zone, which is wrong. When we work in our comfort zone, our physical, emotional, and intellectual energy peaks, and we do share with others, since our own survival needs are fulfilled or taken care of. If our own survival needs are taken care of or fulfilled, how can we think of the development of others? So people love to live in their comfort zone. When there is conflict, people to try to create their own comfort zone. Think of the slaves who had been forcibly taken from Africa and sold in European markets. Gradually, they have created their own comfort zone in those areas. But remember how they have suffered in that time. In conflict zone, there is no peace. It is full of anger, hatred. It promotes stealing and killing instinct. The comfort zone promotes sharing and collaboration. Similarly, the TODOLA laws. What is the TODOLA laws? Why we call TODOLA laws? Are our laws are for us or for our foreign colonial masters? The foreign colonial masters have made laws to block local development of slaves so that they remain poor, uprooted, and undeveloped. Punishment of foreign colonial masters to local slaves for any resistance to oppression and torture. As an independent country, the parliament can frame its own laws for local development without copy-paste from the past colonial laws. Make the wordings of the law simple and in Indian languages so that the common Indians can understand without any ambiguity. There should not be any sentence or words having double meaning like block development. Every Indian has the right to grow, be rich and prosperous. The rulers should treat local Indians as their family members. There should be root cause analysis of crimes at the local level, and all necessary preventive actions should be taken by reviewing. Laws should give sufficient scope to fulfill the aspiration of Indians locally, using the resources available in a sustainable way. The laws should also promote Indians to go abroad, trade, and be prosperous. Each local area should have Indian-friendly police who will facilitate the total development of local areas to make the developed India. The destructive forces should be dealt with firm hand. The terrorists in the side of the country should be treated as the enemy of the country. So our laws should be for us. It should not be for others. Similarly, the offices, the factories, office is a meeting place for collaboration where different members can communicate effectively and work to develop. The competitive examination is to select a small number of people from a large sample of people who are eligible and capable to do the work. The local area development means development of all the members of local area in terms of all the local needs. The factory is a place where tools are available for production, processing, and testing and delivery. The colony is a place where people from different places come to one another, different places to settle there temporarily as non-resident. The strategy for colonization can be to block local development, since the colonizing entity have their own products to sell. The company is a group of people who collaborate with each other to do something which is difficult for an individual to do it alone. The colonialization is a term used where the people from outside come and forcibly dictate the decision without the help and consent of the local people. The competition can be among individuals, among different group of individuals, among companies, among geography, but in a limited way. The vision of local area total development mission envisages creation of new development centers with total open development offices and factories with open tools for development to use in an open, inclusive and transparent manner involving all the local stakeholders. So let me come to the micro level. I have told so many things at a very macro level. Now let us talk to what is the local component for school teachers and students. What are the questions for TODOLA selection examination? How people should know more about knowledge of the local ecosystem, resources are available, local aspirations. What is the different type of soil available in the local area? What are the different crops that are cultivated in those soil? What are the types, food crops, non-food crops, areas of cultivation, processing of crops, consumption of exports? What are the number of industries, modern workplace, broadband centers, parks, ports, railway connectivity, airport nearer to the place? Make a 3D map of the local area in clay in front of the school. Indicate the rivers, mountains, ponds, temples, market area, so that the people understand the local area much better way. Minerals, types, areas, mined or not, local processing or not, local use or not, different manufacturing, etc. or not, dependent industries are there. Similarly, tourism. What are the old heritage sites nearby? What are the newly created tourist attraction centers nearby? Temples, museums, connectivity to tourist centers, hotel cleanliness. So, what I want to say is that the schools and colleges should concentrate on the immediate surroundings, the immediate geography. For example, water. What are the different water bodies available? What is the rainfall, irrigation? How many ponds are there? What is the depth of availability of groundwater at different points? Total money deposited by the local people in the banks. What are the total loans taken? Why they are poor? What are the taxes collected? Investments done? people, what do they know? How they can develop skills, tools, infra, finance, resources, knowledge, rooted or not, health status, diseases, trees, types and approximate number of trees. What are the different trees that grow in the geography? What are the fruits? What are the wood? What are the medicinal qualities of the trees? What are the medicinal trees? What are the sustainable use? Wild animals, cows, goats, buffalo, chicken, fish, milk produce, milk processing, electricity, sanitation, ICT connectivity, schools, colleges, hospital, police. What I meant to say is that with ICT, you have all the information available. We have all the data available. So at a click of a button, you can know the things. So what we should know, what we should remember, what we should know more deeply, how can we develop local areas more with local analysis? And if we don't do that, just serving in the Niti Ayog or sitting in the Delhi, you cannot have a total development of local area and the local areas. If the students don't know what are the things nearby, when they will grow up and give an examination Europe and American questions and big, how they will think about the local areas? Our education, our examination, our system, our structure, our macro policies, all should be aligned for total development of local areas. Then only our sales will be strong. Our sales will be, for example, festivals. Now what is happening? Suppose there is a festival, we have an examination. So we don't celebrate those festivals because our examinations are kept in such a way that the festivals could not be celebrated. So the local festivals, the local Indian festival and exhibition, that is I call a new term called life. What is life without festival? There is no life without festival. Life consists of festivals, local Indian festivals and exhibitions, new concept of TODOLA festival. Science and Technology Festival, designing and making scientific tools locally, local use of science and technology, global invention, innovation for local use, creation of local India, Heritage Festival, making replica of heritage structures, tourist info about local heritage sites, drawing, statue making, spiritual provocation, and making 3D printing, making virtual reality show of the heritage sites, the festivals of people, common celebration for marriages, birthday, meetings of friends, family get together. Because what is happening? For example, marriages are making people poor. If there will be common celebration of marriages at the local areas, then they can spend less on marriages. There can be some common facilities available. Happiness festival of music, song, dance, festival of health. What is the festival of health? If we have a food festival, we have all burgers and pizza from Italy. That is not a food festival. That is not a festival of health. Festival of health is food festival. Food festival means that foods which will provide you health, raw materials and different ways of processing, cooking, storage, diseases, cure, yoga, Ayurveda. Similarly, the children festival, buyer seller meet, Vana Mahotsava, Art and Sky Festival, Earth and Water Festival, Festival of Fire. You see, our culture has conceptualized everything for life. We have Air and Sky Festival, kite in the sky, experience the sunrise, sunset, observing the stars in the sky in the night, skying, flying, Earth and Water Festival. For example, the Holi can be considered as an Earth and Water Festival. Boating in the river, making statues of the clay, mountaineering, trekking, worshipping river, making ships. Festival of Fire for preparation of war, testing of arms and ammunition, war dance, war drama, display of survival strategy, Festival of Fire, Diwali. Diwali is a preparation for war. Diwali is a festival which is played with fire. Why? Because we need them. We need them to defend ourselves. For preparation of war, testing of arms and ammunition, war dance, war drama, display of survival strategy. Buyer seller meet, Vana Mahotsava, festival of nature, trees, fruits, flowers, soil, minerals, insects, local area, 3D map, tree plantation. Then Pravachan. Pravachan is an what? The open total development of local area with a multimedia presentation, past, present and future. What was our past? What is our present? How will be our future? In the local area, this was the attack, this was the invasion, this was the earthquake, this has happened as an history, and this is the present status. and we want to take it into forward. We want to make it our local area like this. It has to be focused. Then only we can develop. And the most important concept in the TODOLA concept is the family. If we have no family, there is no development. If we have no development, forget our total development. Family means an intimate domestic group of people led to one another by bonds of blood, marriage, and legal ties, and includes husband, wife, and their grandparents, parents, children, and their spouses and grandchildren. Actually, I just want to tell you that I have told about the ICT connectivity at the higher level, at the lower level, information crowding. What happens if we have all this technology available, if we have all the system available, but still we live in a conflict zone, we live in a poor condition, we live in a familyless environment? Then what is the use of this technology? What is the use of these jargons? It is of no use. So we have to think how to promote, how to protect the family system. This is my last slide. As you know, our enemy has his own way. Our belief system was sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani paschyantu ma kaschit dukkhavag bhave. This is our belief system. Our belief system means if you are poor, I will donate you. If you are poor, I will help you. If you are poor, I will make you rich. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya. If you are having a disease, I will cure you. I will make you disease free. Sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani paschyantu. Let everybody see the best of themselves. Sarve bhadrani paschyantu ma kaschit dukkhavag bhave. Let the sorrow be reduced and reduced. But what has happened? We have been told, Jor jar mulaktar, jungle ka kanon. We believe that survival for the fittest. So why I will take care of the poor? Why I will take care of a poor geography? Why I will take care of a poor village? There is no concept. So our belief system has been destroyed. Our belief system is sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani paschyantu ma kaschit dukkhavag. Since the belief is survival for the fittest, the rule of the game is to fight for everything. Fight between brothers and brothers, fight between hands and hands, fight between fingers and fingers, fight between eyes and eyes. It is not required. We have been taught in a very greater philosophy for total development of local area. Let us conceptualize, let us go to that philosophy, the philosophy of sarve bhavantu sukhina. And another is the music chair competition. What happens? You must have known what is a music chair competition. There are chairs and people are running around. There is a song. When the song stops, then it takes one chair. Another time it takes another chair. It takes another chair. So people from position to position to get the allocation of the rights over diminishing resources. So because of this fight and because of this music chair competition, our total development local area is hampered. Our resources are being diminished. We have less quality soil. Now, Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev has made a revival of soil, revival of water, revival of river. Why? Why after 75 years, a Sadhguru or a saint is roaming around throughout the world, 30,000 kilometers, is traveling by bike to save soil, to save water? Why? Because our bureaucracy, our politicians, our thinkers, our decision makers were unable to think in that direction because they are too busy in election fighting. They are too busy in music chair. Resources are diminishing and diminishing. So for total development of local area, we have to think both at a macro level and also at a micro level. At a macro level, we have to think how everybody can be peaceful life, blissful life. At a micro level, we should think about education. We should think about examination. We should think about policies. Policies so that the local area can be developed. Only putting paper is not enough. We have to go to the grassroots. We have to go to the grassroots and we have to think this is the local area. These are my people. These are not the numbers in the statistics. These are not statistical numbers. These are real people. Here is a poor person. Here is a poor person. Here is a diseased person. Here is a person who has no house. And here is a person who is forcibly migrated to villages from cities. Why? So individually with ICT, we can solve the problem. Individual problem. ICT can sort out the individual problem. Otherwise, it is a massive data ocean, will be lost. Data is not big. If it is aggregated, it becomes big. Let everybody become happy, then we will have very less unhappy people. So data of the unhappy people will be less. If we are all having house, then data of having houseless people will be less. But what is happening? We are manipulating, but houseless people are growing, poor people are growing. In next election, another thing is going reverse. So ICT means you attack the population, attack the problem where it is. Pinpointed problem, pinpoint the situation. It is not a statistics no more. It is no more statistics. It is the person, his family, his individual, his job, his workplace. All these things to be taken care of. All these things should be thought of from the ICT point of view. Only then, at a macro level, if we think all this ICT point, and if we think how the boxing and music chair is diminishing us, how the boxing and music chair is blocking our development, then only we can understand that how the total development local area can be possible. So thank you very much. This is my last slide. Actually, I have spoken more about macro level because ICT, Dr. Moni sir has already told many things, the government implementation, government policies, and what has happened. I have just given some examples, like one civil service examination, our syllabus, and our policies, our transfer policies. So let us
And
macro level.
just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. It is your talk for the last more than 1 hour has made me to get immersed in various thought process. No, even though uh, I have brought out so many issues which is available to us, which is published materials, I thought that I should bring it and make it available to the audience who may like to visit, view it. They must have witnessed now and they may view it later, the research scholars, the startups, and so on and so forth. But your talk today is that it is an eye opener for many people for many reasons. You have questioned logically things which is happening, and I was quite immersed that the last slide, it is a boxing and musical chair, and you also brought out a very nice these economic theory. For diminishing resources, people are fighting, and we are enjoying it. In musical chair, people enjoy, but not knowing that they are fighting for a diminishing resources. And and the way in which you compared during the last 1 hour talk, more than 1 hour talk, it's very important. I have been talking for quite some time in the similar language, but not with the concentrated effort or with the framework based. and you have picked up every example. That even maybe that even in 2013-12, I also put up a big proposal to the government through the authorities that how to even develop universities in the country, that people should be that depending upon the capabilities that one student gets it picked up from the middle, the secondary, the middle level education and secondary level education, and students has to be developed depending upon the capabilities. And and then people should be sent for higher education. Today in your talk, I was, you started with, very nicely that we have 6,500, and in numerical numbers, you can say the 6,500 block development offices. And you questioned it whether we are using it as a verb or noun. And today also, and those days it's block development offices. Now you have another technology called blockchain technology. And here this is that in order to bring in transparency and and openness, you have to chain those blocks so that nothing is left out. So we have to adopt to ICT blockchain technology to bring the development officers, to realize their positions. I remember 2012, I was chaired a technical session in National Institute of Rural Development when I was in service, and that this is and our talk on knowledge system for sustainable agriculture and rural development. That is that this it is the that it is basically just 1 minute. Uh, it is something like a land use planning based sustainable land use planning based sustainable agriculture and rural development. So in that one technical session I was chairing, I talked about knowledge based land use planning for sustainable agriculture rural development. And at that time, there are a lot of people from district administration and people from land use planning boards and also people from geography department and some of the district collectors, Jilla Parishad development officers were participating. I told them that in the country, that the definition is rural area means where more than 85% of the activities are agriculture based, primary agriculture. And urban area means more than 80% of the activities are related to secondary one, that is manufacturing and so on and so forth. But over a period what we brought it, we have got sectoral divisions and policies and delivery at the grassroots level. What is one? You can't vertically divide it. Village is a village. You can't divide a village into rural development, village into these education, village into agriculture, village into so many other divisions which they made it. Village is complex, urban area is simple, but complex is it's one has to understand. We have to adopt technology to understand, to solve, overcome the problems related through the due to complex situations. But people over a period living in villages, they have adopted sustainable development and sustainable livelihood. Even if there is no electricity for weeks together, there is no water, there is no rain, the people living in village level, they were able to sustain their livelihood options. But in urban area, if there is no electricity, there is no water, if there is no transportation, there is no hospital, and you can see the disturbances which the people used to go about it. And that's why in 2001, when we had the first conference through the Bhuvigan Vikas Foundation, I was instrumental along with my guru, late Shri Dr. K.V. Sundaram. We had the first international conference on sustainable development and sustainable development and sustainable lifestyle. India is traditionally, is based on sustainable lifestyle. in the villages. And today your whole total talk is towards total development. We had a total development. And then you also had the table before Mughal invasion and British's invasion. During that period, and then after 1947, you brought out the table very effectively, and what we have done it. But today, if the grassroots development, Gram Swaraj, and the road for nation's development goes through village, and if that has to be there, and people, everything has to be village dependent, village centric, not urban centric. If the development is based on village centric, urban problems will be solved. It is not provision of urban facilities in rural area. It is the development of villages for urban. It is a reverse process. Previously it was like that. But I felt very happy today you talked about, that total development is based on skill, based on technology, based on science, based on education, based on resources. We don't have appropriate natural resource accounting. I would like to quote the speech by the then chairman of the Hindustan Unilever in their annual general body meeting. He said it that rural India, if technologies are adopted, rural India can contribute 1.9 billion dollars to the existing GDP in 2012. So India, it is true even now, if India can achieve more than $10 billion economy, if rural India is managed and developed through technology. Development has to take place. Village industries has to come out. And we have to network them. Village has to develop as an enterprise model. Village enterprise model has to be, put it smart village, smart, island, and smart, grids. It's more important. And that's why I was also instrumental in coming out with many schemes, small area based. But the thing is that, we have a block to mind. Is not only block development offices. In many of the vertical ministries, there is a block to mind. There is no interoperability. So many schemes are not synergized at the grassroots level. That's why in the doubling farmers' income committee recommendations under the digital technology in agriculture, we have suggested 7 mission board programs for synergization at the farm level, farmer level, at village level. We don't have a comprehensive agriculture resources information system. We don't have a comprehensive village level information systems. Then what will you do it? And we have now, connectivity mission 2022, National Digital Communication Mission. But all those things has to develop that how that people living in village level are more wealthier than anybody else. They will be in a position to, utilize optimal utilization of resources which are available there in a sustainable and ecological manner. That is more important. And engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty, I know you for quite some time, more than 2 decades, and your talk is very important. This model has to be operationalized. This is where experts like you and an educational institution like ours, say, after retired as a director general in IC, when I was involved in various grassroots level development programs, I thought that in order to develop rural India, 2004, I wrote an article that rural India to smile and shine and roar through ICT technologies, 5 projects which I was instrumental. I made it as an example for operationalization. And that is very important. And ICT can make, life changed at the grassroots level, provided we make the rural boys and girls as professionals, startups, entrepreneurs, innovators. Their DNA is for innovation, entrepreneurship, and through technology, we have to give them as both potential and kinetic energy. We have to revamp, reignite their potential energy and kinetic energy. And in the TODOLA model, you talked about every aspect, and this has to give a lot of you know, education at the grassroots level. I would like to quote it. You also said it very nicely, that why development is not taking place, why people are not bothered about it. Because I worked in the district level programs way back in 87. Today, I'm not a computer science, agriculture scientist, but today my whole contribution is for agricultural informatics. Even though I was born and brought up in rural area, agriculture is in our DNA, but it is not through the exam degree pathway. It is an intelligence pathway of acquiring knowledge. And today we have realized that a village-led development can make India developed. And every commodity which grows in village level has to have a digitalized, value chain. It is both the supply chain and value chain. And everybody has to be the stakeholder, not the middleman. And I'm very happy that your talk, even though you have been talking, and your talk should have been in August 28th, 2021. Today it is 20th August 2022. Because of various reason, you have postponed it. But I was after you because of the importance of this talk, the value which this talk can give. And but your talk is completely, collaborating with what our honorable prime minister said it in the, 76th independence day, you know independence day of India. He talked about it that, this panch pran, the panch pran is that I talked about it, that we have to, respect our heritage. We should citizens contribution, and we it's very important that he talked about that, the just for a minute. Apart from Atmanirbhar Bharat, he talked about the, this Panch Pran, developed India by 2047, for which it is about 5 prawns. That is that the, developed India and remove colonial mindset and take pride in our roots and unity and citizens, contribution. It's very important. And today, if these 5 punch prawn are operationalized at, small area level, and I think my request will be that you also include this punch prawn in your Todala model, and it will be most appropriate. But it's very important talk today. You also said it that you compared before Mughal and British, invasion, and then during their, stay, and then after 1947. But I would like to tell you that after World War II is only urban development in Japanese witnessed. But in 1972, the Japanese understood that village development is not taking place. So they developed a model, one village, one product development, value chain, in 1972. Then Alibaba model, Alibaba from China, he took that model, one village, one product model, and then they have developed village e-commerce. And that's how Alibaba, has become like is like a world empire from China. And this called, Chosa model. And now India, in Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, he brought one district, one product, model, 2020. And that has been, taken up for entire country, one district, one product model, value chain. And one district, one product informatics network, where I had a talk in this webinar series. And we have to bring in a complete digitalized value chain from village. We have to have a smart village. smart farming, and smart village enterprise model. These are all important things. And my question, my interest is that will BharatNet facilitate? In one of the report, I also said that BharatNet should be designated as, digital network for farmers. In 1995, I was instrumental to bring out informatics blueprint for agriculture sector, 15 informatics network, and that is very essential to bring in, these digital network for farmers through BharatNet, and we have to have commodity value chain from villages, more than 400 agriculture commodity value chain, facilitating the optimal utilization of the natural resource available in the village, not exploitation. And that is very important. And I'm very happy that small area development program. But I also questioning that what has happened with respect to MPLAD program, what has happened with respect to MLA development program, what is happening with the Gram Panchayat development programs, and what is happening with Sansad Gram Aadhar Yojana. There are a lot of things are available, but people still, even in Delhi, they are sleeping on the road. It is not even cleaned. And this is where that, the situation we are living in. That's why during the COVID situation, Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, since I was part of the many of the development schemes, and now through the 5 centers of excellence, we decided that taking advantage of the COVID situation, let us have this webinar series. Let us bring experts. Let us request them to talk, make the youngsters, the rural youths, girls and boys to undertake, they talk to areas for their developmental projects, so that the total development can take place. This 2 hour, 1.5 hours talk will give them a complete value chain for them to understand, a problem value chain, a solution value chain, and that gives the synergy. And today is 88th edition of this webinar series. Last Thursday we completed the 89th edition of national webinar series on doubling farmers income. And engineer Subrat Kumar Brusto, I am very happy to host your talk today in this very important webinar series. It is very meaningful, and this is being organized in association with the African Asian Rural Development Organization. The message is very clear. It has gone to 30 member countries of 33 member countries of ARDO, and also 28 states and national capital region, territory, and union territories of India. Each country, each district has to be developed. It is not one solution fits for all. Every village has got a different, agroecological pattern. Every block has got a different, every taluk, every district, different, territorial divisions. And we have to see the aspiration very effectively. And you talked about skill, technology, science, education, and resources is very important. People should know the local conditions. This is where geography and economy and technology have to be made as a compulsory subject for students coming from, at the school level. They should know the geography, they should know the history very effectively. And today's topic is very important, and we are very happy to get associated with you to see to that how this TODOLA model can be made operational at pilot scale. And I would like to hear from you your final words, and then I will close the webinar and we will leave the studio. Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty. I would like to hear from you your final words.
Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you very much. Actually, the educational institution plays a very vital role in this TODOLA model. For example, let's say designing a 3D map of the local area, and knowing people where the river comes and where it flows. What is the depth of the river? What is the width of the river? Why flood is coming every year? What is happening to the water? Why water level is becoming reduced day by day? Why people are having more drought in local areas? So the educational institutions, particularly let's say 100-kilometer radius, they should have a complete in-depth database or in-depth knowledge, in-depth knowledge not only for reading purpose but for analysis purpose. Why analysis purpose? Let's say I am taking a 3D map. We have a big map that is available in the paper of India, but it is of no use if we don't have a map of local area 3D map, where we should know, okay, my water is coming from where? Where is my water coming from? Where is the reservoir? What happens in the reservoir? How much? What is the depth of my river? What is the width of the river? So similarly, what is the forest area? How many trees are there? For similarly in the roadside, for example, roadside, why we will plant only the thorn or herbs or trees are of which does not have fruits? Can we not plant mango trees on the roadside? Can we not plant the trees which can give fruits to the monkeys or to the other animals so that they can also live? For example, we want to develop the public spaces also. The public spaces like, so for example, let's say there is a school and there is a mines nearby to the schools. But people don't know what are the mining things that is available in the mines. For example, these educational institutions, they only teach or they only know what has been taught by the NCRT. NCRT gives a history of the India or history of geography of India only. But we need to go deeper, go in depth, so that the people who is suppose after +2 he is doing a business, he should know all the things that is the local area has. So that thing is not happening because what we want? We want the civil service examination. What question will come in the civil service examination? That is our objective. The civil service examination question determines what the student should learn in his college or in his school. That should not happen. Knowledge should be for development, and this development can happen if we make our education in such a way that it thinks of the real development, not a reading manual, not a reading manual. The colorful pictures of New York or San Francisco will not help our villages. We will help. Should have our own 3D map. One 3D map showing where are the forests, where are the trees, how many trees are there, what are the fruit bearing trees, what are the agriculture status, what are the processing plants, why the processing plants are not there in rural areas. So all these things have to be taken care of. I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present my view. I think I have written this presentation 1 year back.
Thank you very much, Engineer Subrat, Kumar, Prusty. It's very important.
Actually, this presentation I have done 1 year back. I just modify some of the words, but this is a old presentation. So I thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
I'm very happy, even though that I have been pursuing you for the last 1 year, and because of your various other activities, and you are also not well due to COVID situation. But thank God, now today we had a fantastic discussion. But it will pay the way, and I'm very happy that let us work on it. And I also invite you to work with us, participate with us. Let us develop this model. Let us work with some block, some area, and let us operationalize this model so that the grassroots level gets benefit out of it. And you also said it very nicely that every day has got so many graded development from morning sunrise to sunset, and also human being also is getting from 0 8 to different ages. So the development of an local area also has to commensurate with this development which is taking place, that and it is very important. Let us try to have that, this total area development as a concept, as a process, as a methodology to be adopted for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyle in the country. With this, I would like to thank you, and I will also request you to invite on behalf of me your other colleagues who are working in telecom area at the grassroots level, because they know lot of rural developmental problems and solutions that the country should know about it. So please invite them to talk in this forum. It will be very nice. Thank you very much. With this, I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General Ardo, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the faculty members, and our guest speaker today, Engineer Subrat Kumar Prusty, officer from the Indian Telecom Services, for delivering a very important talk today, and also the cooperations and support received from the university for for organizing this international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India on a weekly basis. Thank you very much. With this, I also thank the man behind this total event is Mr. Manish Chabra, and he is making every week this program so successful. Thank Mr. Manish Chabra. Thank you very much. With this, I would like to close the webinar and leave studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you. Thank you.